Captain Ellie Morgan stood on the bridge of the USS Intrepid. She looked at the stars through the big window. This was the first time humans would meet aliens. Her heart beat fast. This was a big day for all people on Earth. "Captain, we got the meeting spot coordinates," said Alan Wright from his chair. He pushed buttons on the glowing screen in front of him. "Show me," Ellie said. She pulled her blue uniform straight and stood tall. Everyone on the bridge got quiet when the alien ship appeared on the big screen. It was huge, like a whale next to a fish, and covered in shiny things that glowed in the darkness of space. "Wow, that's really showy," said Kate Russell, shaking her head. "I guess they want to impress us," Ellie said with a small smile. "Diego, move our ship next to theirs so we can dock." "Yes, Captain," said Diego Garcia as he moved the ship carefully. As they got closer, Ellie felt the heavy weight of her job. Humans had only figured out how to travel faster than light 15 years ago. In that short time, they had visited many nearby stars. Now these aliens, who called themselves the Galactic Hegemony, had noticed them. The first message from the aliens wasn't very friendly. It said, "The Grand Galactic Hegemony sees you little humans and will let you come talk to us about how you will serve us and get our protection." Earth leaders told Ellie to be nice but strong. Humans would not be servants to anyone. "Captain, the aliens are calling us," Alan said. "Put them on screen." The screen changed to show a strange face. The alien had 4 eyes stacked on top of each other on a narrow face. Its skin was purple and shiny. It wore fancy armor with jewels and gold all over it. "Hello, humans," the alien's voice said through the translator. "I am Grand Vizier Zolthar of the Pax Hegemonia. You will come to us for inspection. Bring gifts and be ready to swear your loyalty." Ellie took a deep breath. "Grand Vizier, I am Captain Ellie Morgan from Earth. We come looking for friendship and working together. We don't bring gifts to buy your favor. We want to talk about trade, sharing cultures, and maybe helping protect each other." The alien was quiet for a long time. Its 4 eyes blinked one after another like a wave. "You don't understand, simple humans. All new species must be put in their proper place in our empire. Your ideas about being independent don't matter. Get ready for us to come on your ship." The screen went black. Paul Carter, the security chief, moved next to Ellie. "Captain, I don't like this. They talk like they expect us to just do whatever they say." "I noticed that too." Ellie turned to Sophia Reyes, her second in command. "Commander, get our meeting team ready. Full uniforms and bring your weapons, but keep them secured. We need to show them we come as equals, not as people they can push around." Sophia nodded firmly. "Got it, Captain." The Intrepid connected to the giant alien ship. As the airlock doors prepared to open, Ellie felt something was off. Everything about this meeting felt like a show, like someone trying too hard to look important. The ship shook slightly as the docking was completed. Lights around the airlock turned green, showing it was safe to go through. "Ready to meet our new galactic neighbors?" Ellie asked her team, checking her uniform one last time. "Ready as we'll ever be," Paul said, hand resting near his weapon. The airlock doors slid open with a hiss. Bright light poured through from the alien ship. In the doorway stood 3 tall purple aliens in shining armor. They had staffs that glowed at the tips and helmets that covered their upper eyes. "The Grand Galactic Hegemony welcomes the representatives of Earth," the middle alien announced, its voice booming. "Follow us to meet your new masters." Ellie stepped forward, standing straight and proud. "We look forward to meeting your leaders, but understand this: Earth has no masters. We come as friends or not at all." The aliens seemed shocked at her words. They looked at each other, making quick clicking sounds with their mouths. "Interesting," the lead alien finally said. "Follow us, humans. The Grand Emperor awaits." As Ellie and her team walked into the alien ship, she couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. The halls were too perfect, the guards too stiff, the decorations too clean. It all felt like a movie set, not a real place where people lived and worked. "Stay sharp," she whispered to her team. "Something strange is going on here." What the humans didn't know was that their first step into galactic society would be nothing like they expected. And before the day ended, the mighty galactic hegemony would face something they had never encountered before. Humans who could see through their grand act and couldn't help but laugh. The guards led the humans through big halls in the alien ship. The walls shined with gold and silver. Strange moving pictures on the walls showed different aliens bowing to the purple four-eyed aliens. Captain Ellie walked in front with Commander Sophia and Security Chief Paul beside her. Behind them walked Kate, Alan, and Ben. "Look at this place," Ben said quietly. "It's amazing, but something feels wrong. It's like someone made it just to scare visitors, not to actually live in." Kate looked around. "And where are all the other aliens? They said they have an empire with hundreds of species, but I only see the purple guys." Before they could talk more, they reached huge doors that slowly opened. Inside was a giant room with a throne at the far end. Hundreds of different-looking aliens stood in neat rows, all wearing fancy uniforms. On a raised platform sat a larger purple alien on a floating chair covered in jewels. A glowing crown floated above his head. "Look upon the great and mighty. Emperor Zeltharion the 43rd, shouted a loud voice from hidden speakers. "Supreme leader of 300 stars, master of space, protector of lesser species." All the aliens in the room dropped to one knee at the same time, like they had practiced it. The humans stayed standing. The room got very quiet. The Emperor's 4 eyes got narrow. "Why don't you kneel before the Emperor?" Zolthar whispered angrily, suddenly next to them. Ellie kept her face calm. "On Earth, we only kneel to our own leaders or gods. We mean no disrespect, but we stand as free people from Earth." The Emperor stood up slowly. His fancy clothes lit up as he moved. "Strange. Most aliens know to kneel as soon as they see our greatness." He walked down the steps, each step making a loud sound in the quiet room. Guards moved around him in perfect order. As the Emperor came closer, Kate leaned to Ellie. "Captain," she whispered, "my scanner shows weird energy readings. This whole thing looks like a movie set," Ellie finished, looking closely at the Emperor. The Emperor stopped in front of them. He was very tall, almost 8 feet. "You humans are smaller than I thought. Your world is far away. Your ships are simple. You have few resources. Yet you talk about being independent?" He laughed, sounding like small bells. "How funny." Paul moved his hand closer to his gun. The guards got ready to fight. But Ellie had seen something odd. Behind the Emperor's floating crown was a small device she could barely see, and his purple skin looked wrong somehow, like it wasn't real. "Great Emperor," Ellie said carefully, "we came a long way to make friends. Could you tell us more about how your empire works? We want to know how different aliens work together in your society." The Emperor waved his hand like her question wasn't important. "It's very simple, even for simple minds. My people, the Zolturan, rule everything. All other aliens serve us. Some give us materials, some work for us, some fight in our armies. We protect them all." "And what would humans do?" Ellie asked. "We would decide that after studying you. Maybe you would be interesting to look at. Maybe you would be workers. Your planet has lots of water, which we like." Alan spoke up. "Sir, I've been listening to everyone's speech patterns. It's strange, but all these different aliens speak in almost the same way, even though they have different mouths and voices." The Emperor got stiff. Kate added, "And my scanner shows energy readings that match big hologram projectors." Ellie stepped forward. The guards moved to stop her, but she ignored them. "Great Emperor, I have to wonder, is all of this real? Or is your mighty empire not exactly what it seems to be?" The room got completely silent. Then Ben started to laugh. It began small but grew louder and louder. His laugh bounced off the walls in the quiet room. As the sound spread, some of the aliens in the court started to flicker, like bad TV signals. Ben's laugh kept bouncing off the walls. As it did, more strange things happened. Some of the different aliens in the room flickered, showing the same purple-skinned aliens underneath. Part of the fancy ceiling blinked, showing error messages in alien writing before going back to normal. "Captain," Ben said between laughs, "I think we're seeing the biggest fake-out ever. It's like when a kid pretends to be king, but everyone can see it's just a kid in a costume. The Emperor raised his hand, and the room got very still. Too still. Even the alien's breathing stopped completely. "What do you find so funny, human?" the Emperor asked in a quiet, angry voice. Ellie took a step forward. "What my friend finds funny, Your Greatness, is that we're watching a big show. This isn't a real empire with hundreds of alien species. This is just make-believe." The Emperor's 4 eyes blinked quickly, one after the other. "How dare you?" he started. "The energy readings don't lie," Kate cut in, holding up her scanner. 3 out of 4 aliens in this room are just holograms. The rest are your own people in costumes or using some kind of image-changing technology. Sophia crossed her arms. "And your ship, as big as it is, looks like it was just built. The worn spots don't match how old you say it is," Alan added. "Your speech patterns are too similar. Real aliens from different worlds would talk differently, even with translators." The Emperor's face froze, but Zolthar stepped forward, making clicking sounds with his mouth. "You understand nothing. The hegemony has ruled for 10,000 cycles." "Has it?" Ellie raised an eyebrow. "Or is that just what you tell everyone?" For a moment, nobody moved. Then from the back of the room came a loud clang, followed by someone cursing in an alien language. One of the big statues near the wall fell forward. Behind it was a small purple alien working at a control panel. "Turn off Section 4, the alien shouted, not knowing everyone could hear him. "We're losing the Braxian delegation images." The Emperor closed his eyes slowly. "End program," he said quietly. Right away, 3 out of 4 of the gathered alien species disappeared. The fancy ceiling changed to a much simpler one. Even the Emperor's fancy clothes simplified, and the floating crown disappeared. The remaining aliens, all purple-skinned with 4 eyes, looked at each other in panic. Ben's laugh had calmed down to a chuckle. "Now I know what it reminded me of. It's like those historical villages back on Earth where people dress up like pioneers just on a space scale." Ellie faced the Emperor, who suddenly looked much smaller without his special effects. "I think it's time for some honest talk, don't you?" After a tense silence, the Emperor sighed and pointed to a side door. "Captain Morgan, maybe you and your team should join me in a more private room." 20 minutes later, Ellie, Sophia, Kate, Alan, Paul and Ben sat across from the Emperor and Zolthar in what looked like a normal meeting room. "So," Ellie said, "the galactic hegemony is actually the Zoltaran Cooperative," the Emperor, who now called himself Director Kex, admitted. "We control 7 star systems, not 300. "But why lie?" Sophia asked. "Surely you knew someone would figure it out." Director Kex looked at Zolthar. "It usually works, actually. Most new space travelers are so amazed by our show that they never question it. They just accept their place in our ranking system." "You're con artists," Paul said bluntly. "We prefer cultural directors, no," Zolthar said stiffly. "Our real technology is still far better than yours. We just improve the experience." Kate leaned forward. "But why? What do you get from this trick?" Director Kex's 4 eyes blinked. In sequence, they now realized this was like a human sigh. Resources, mostly. New species give us unique materials, workers, and cultural items in exchange for our protection and galactic wisdom. This system has worked for nearly 300 years. "You said most species never question it," Ellie noted. "Have others seen through your act?" "2 others," Zolthar admitted reluctantly. "The Vril, a species that can feel emotions and sensed our lies right away, and the Krith, who had better scanners than we expected." "And what happened to them?" Alan asked. Director Kex's mouth formed what might have been a smile. "They became our partners, of course. The Vril handle our diplomacy now. They're currently meeting with aliens in another area of space. The Krith manage much of our actual technology." Ellie looked at her team. "So, you're suggesting an opportunity, Captain Morgan," Director Keck said. "Humans have shown remarkable insight and adaptability. Rather than subjects, perhaps you could be Collaborators, Ben snorted. You want us to help you trick other aliens? We prefer to think of it as helping them enter galactic society gently, Zolthar said. Not everyone is ready for the complexity of real space politics. Ellie leaned back in her chair, studying the aliens carefully. I think it's time we talked about what humans might really bring to this arrangement, and what we expect in return. But this time, let's keep the fake stuff to a minimum. The meeting room on the Zoltaran ship, now called the Administrative Vessel Practical Solution instead of the Imperial Dreadnought Eternal Majesty, felt different now. It was a real meeting, not a fake Imperial show. Director Kex had stopped, pretending to be an emperor. He and 3 other Zoltaran sat across from the humans. They had tablets and drinks on the table between them. So, Ellie said, taking a sip of the sweet alien drink they'd been given. Let me make sure I understand. Your people control 7 star systems, not hundreds. You have good technology, but nothing like the godlike powers you first showed us. That's right, Kex nodded. Though I should say, our hologram and sensory trick technology really is the best in known space. That part wasn't a lie. I'll give you that, Kate said, looking at her scanner. The detail in those fake aliens was amazing. Sophia leaned forward. But you regularly use this technology to scare new space travelers into giving you resources, technology, and workers under false pretenses. We give value back, Zolthar insisted. Those species get protection, some technology, though not our best stuff, and they join a wider community. A community built on lies, Paul pointed out. Director Kex's 4 eyes blinked in that sighing pattern again. Captain Morgan, does your species have history? On your world, when powerful nations met less developed ones, did they always approach as equals? Or did they sometimes use shows of power to get better deals? Ellie looked at Ben, who gave a small nod. We've had our share of unfair dealings and power plays, she admitted, but we've learned from them. They're not things we're proud of. Yet they shaped how you grew, Kex noted. We just managed that process more carefully. Alan had been quiet, looking at data on his tablet. He looked up suddenly. These trade lists you've shared, the resources you collect, you're building something, aren't you? Something big. The Zoltarans shifted in their seats uncomfortably. Good eye, Kex admitted. Yes. The cooperative is working on a significant project. What kind of project needs tricking dozens of species? Ellie asked. Kex and Zolthar exchanged glances. Then Kex pushed a button on the table. A star map appeared above them, not a trick this time. It was a real map, with a scary pattern highlighted at one edge. 72 years ago, we spotted these strange things at the edge of our sensor range, Kex explained. Stars disappearing, not dying naturally, not exploding, simply vanishing, along with their planets. Kate leaned forward, curious. Some kind of star engineering? We think so, Zolthar said grimly. The pattern of disappearances suggests something intelligent is doing it. We sent probes. None came back. We sent ships. None came back. So your Galactic Hegemony Act, Ellie began, is partly a way to gather resources for our defense preparations, Kex confirmed, and partly a way to organize useful species without causing widespread panic. Ben whistled low. You're building a team to fight whatever's out there, but you're not telling anyone why. The last thing known space needs is panic, Zolthar said firmly. Imagine if every new space traveler knew that something is systematically destroying stars at the edge of known space. Ellie studied the star map carefully. How long until whatever this is reaches populated systems? At current rates? Kex's voice was serious. 37 years, maybe sooner if it speeds up. A heavy silence fell over the room. So, Sophia said finally, you want humans to join your little deception campaign. Help you maintain the illusion of the mighty hegemony while secretly preparing for this threat. Not exactly, Kex replied, surprising them. As I said before, Species that see through our deception become partners, not subjects. The Vril, the Krith, and now, potentially, humans. What kind of partnership did you have in mind? Ellie asked cautiously. Kex leaned forward. Humans have shown exceptional analysis abilities and psychological insight to see through our deception so quickly. Your cultural specialist laughed at exactly the moment that would cause maximum disruption to our holographic systems. Whether by instinct or calculation, it was impressive. Ben shrugged. It just reminded me of a really bad school play. Exactly. Kex's eyes lit up. You spotted the fake nature of our presentation immediately. No other species has done that. They either accept it completely or find technical problems. You saw the psychological element. Zolthar continued. We propose that humans join us as cultural and psychological advisors. Help us understand how different species think. Help us recruit them more effectively and perhaps more honestly for the coalition we're building. You want us to be your therapists and cultural advisors? Sophia asked with disbelief. And tactical consultants, Kex added. Your species has a remarkable history of adaptation and military innovation, according to the data we've gathered. Ellie sat back, thinking about the offer. And in return? Full technology exchange, the real technology, not the limited versions we give to subject species. Defensive support for your colonies, and equal partnership status in the true cooperative, not the fictional hegemony. Paul leaned in. Equal partnership sounds good, but how do we know we can trust you now? You've built your entire space policy on deception. Kex nodded solemnly. A fair concern. That's why we're prepared to offer something we've never offered before. He looked directly at Ellie. We'll send a delegation to Earth. Let your leaders inspect our technology, verify our claims about the stars disappearing, and establish direct diplomatic ties. Complete openness. The human team exchanged surprised glances. Why the change in approach? Kate asked. Zolthar answered, because whatever is eating stars at the edge of our detection range isn't slowing down, and we've recently seen changes in its pattern that suggest it might be speeding up. We need real allies now, not just vassal states. Ellie studied the aliens carefully, looking for signs of lying, but their body language, as alien as it was, seemed to show real worry. I'll need to talk to Earth Command, she said finally. But speaking personally, I think this could be the beginning of a much more interesting relationship than either of us first expected. Director Kex's face arranged itself in what they now recognized as a Zol-Turan smile. Indeed, Captain Morgan, though I must admit, I'm slightly disappointed you didn't fall for our grand imperial act. We spent decades perfecting it. Ben grinned. Maybe next time tone down the floating throne, it was a bit much. For the first time since they'd met, Zolthar actually laughed. 6 months later, the USS Intrepid returned to Zol-Turan space. This time, 3 more Earth ships came too, the science ship USS Discovery, the talking ship USS Concord, and the fighting ship USS Defender. On the bridge of the Intrepid, Captain Ellie Morgan watched as a different Zol-Turan ship came closer on the screen. This ship had no fancy decorations. It was simple, clean, and built for real work, not for show. The Zol-Turan ship Practical Diplomat is calling us, Captain, Alan said from his station. Put them on screen, Lieutenant, Ellie ordered. The screen showed Director Kex sitting in a normal chair, not a throne. He wore a simple uniform instead of fancy robes. Captain Morgan, he greeted her. Good to see you again. Was your trip okay? Perfectly fine, Director, Ellie replied with a smile. I see you've changed your style. Kex's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. The gesture they now knew meant he was amused. Yes, well, after 3 months of talks with your Earth governments, we decided honesty might actually work better. The Vril were very strong about this point. Are the Vril joining us at the meeting? Ellie asked. Yes. Their ship arrived yesterday. The Krith will be here soon. This will be the first time all 4 of our species have met together openly. Sophia stepped forward to stand beside Ellie. And what about the other species? The ones who still think the hegemony is real? Kex got more serious. That's one of the main topics for our meeting. How to move from our deception to a more honest alliance. Your psychology experts have given us great insights on how different species might react to the truth. In the months since they'd returned, Earth had fully embraced its new role as the psychological and cultural advisors to the Zoltaran Cooperative. Universities all over Earth had started studying alien psychology and society. The disappearing stars? Have your scientists checked our data? Kex asked. Kate moved into view. Yes, Director. Earth's space telescopes have confirmed your findings. Whatever is making stars disappear at the edge of known space, it's real, and it's moving inward fast. And the defense preparations? Paul asked. Going according to the plans we made last month, Kex replied. We've already started building the first 3 monitoring stations using our combined design. Ellie couldn't believe how quickly things had changed. What started as an attempt by the Zoltarans to trick humans had become a real partnership, one that might save all their species. We'll dock at Space Station Accord in 2 hours, Ellie told Kex. Earth's delegation is looking forward to the signing ceremony. As are we, Captain Morgan, though I must admit I'm still getting used to this new approach. 300 years of fake diplomacy is a hard habit to break. Ben, who had been standing quietly, stepped forward with a grin. Just remember, Director, no holograms during the ceremony. The treaty says no reality changing during official meetings. Yes, Mr. Howard, we know, Kex replied with what they now recognized as a Zoltaran look of resigned amusement. Though, I still think a small crown projection would look good. Everyone laughed, including Kex. What had begun with humans laughing at a fake alien empire had become something none of them expected. A real alliance that might just save them all.